Bitcoin has done exceptionally well in the recent past. People are dumping their money into this digital currency in hopes that they will make a lot of money off of this, and many have done so far. Why are people dumping their money into Bitcoin? Well, what I'm finding is that people are just feeling that the typical Wall Street investment, the mutual funds, the stocks, the bonds, aren't performing well, and also they're given a sense of fear because they're worried about the crash of 2008, and they're thinking, I don't want that to happen to my money. So they are looking for alternatives, and Bitcoin is providing many people with an alternative. Look at this right here. Bitcoin's failed currency test in Scandinavia's richest nation. So their government was saying basically that Bitcoins don't fall under the typical definition of money and currency, and then they can't really figure out how to use it for the taxation purposes. I find this very funny that they don't think that this is a normal money or currency. In many ways, it resembles the average country's dollar. There's really no difference in this whatsoever. Okay, it has the peer-to-peer aspect. It has, the fact that it's entirely digital, and so on and so forth. There are many protections in place that are not in place in, for example, the US dollar. So I'll give it that. But there is no reason why it can't be used as a monetary exchange. It serves the purpose. Money really has no real value. It's simply a medium of exchange. I have a product I want to buy, so I use this currency that I've worked so hard for, and I go to the store, I buy it, and then they give that currency to someone else, and it just goes around and around as a current. That's where currency comes from. So it provides that same feature. So when people say that, it's not, or this government official here is saying, it doesn't apply, that really is very inaccurate. And the real reason that they're doing this is that they do not want competing currencies. They want their central bank to be the only one printing the money, and in many cases now, digitally printing the money. And at the bottom here, you can see this screen here. It says China's central bank bans financial companies from Bitcoin transactions. So they're putting their foot down and saying, no, we do not want Bitcoin. Now, I just would like to be frank here. I'm not a real fan of Bitcoin, as a medium of savings, but as an exchange method to put a little bit of cash into to use as a financial transactions online, I don't really think it's a bad idea. So I just think that it's the public or the governments find that they don't want competing currencies. They want their own central banks printing the money, and that's why they don't like gold as a currency either. They don't want the competing currencies. Look how Bitcoin has performed so well in recent past, and they're saying, whoa, our dollars aren't doing that good, so we have to step on these people. That's what's happening here. And I was searching for the tulip mania because it sort of reminded me how the craze of the tulip mania. And lo and behold, Peter Schiff actually related the Bitcoin's rise to the tulip mania, because ultimately in the tulip rise there was no possible reason for it to go up in value other than people's desire to have it, the craze, the fad to have these tulips, and people jumped in like crazy. This price was spiking to astronomical levels, and what happened? It plummeted dramatically, and a lot of people lost a lot of wealth very quickly. And this is what frightens Peter Schiff and also frightens me, that people are putting not just their gambling money, but they're putting their investment money and their savings and that which will need to be preserved to bring to your children and grandchildren, and yet people are dumping all their money in there into this thing that is going really high up in value. Even Warren Buffett, who I'm not a fan of, he said the worst time to buy a stock is when it's going up. That is something that I agree with, because you don't want it on the rise when you're getting in as everyone else is getting in. You want it when, basically what Mark Faber consistently refers to as the contrarian bet, you want to be on the opposite end. When it's going down, you can throw a little bit in there, and that's what you use as your daily transaction money. Let me go on quickly here. Another thing that scares me about Bitcoin is the fact that it is digital, it is all online. They are proposing an internet kill switch, which could remove online transactions. They could lock it down. They have the NSA tracking everything we do. And right here, they're talking about Bitcoin being essentially hacked multiple times and people losing their money. This is what scares me. This is why I don't like banks. Banks hold on to your money and they can shut those banks down on a bank holiday, revalue the currency at any moment. So this is what frightens me so much about Bitcoin, is that it is all online and we're basically playing on their platform when we go all online. So that's why I say just put a little bit of money in there if you want to play in Bitcoin. And then you could use that for daily transactions, and you consistently can take your useless US dollars or Canadian dollars or Australian or whatever it might be. You could take a little bit of that and you could put it in constantly and have it just a little bit in there, and then that could be your transaction money. So another thing is that I'm seeing people are gambling. Now, some people may have a legitimate business with Bitcoin, saying this is where I believe it's safe, but a lot of people are not. A lot of people are just chasing this tulip mania, and that is concerning. People don't really, they're taking it for granted right now. They're just dumping all their money in, and I really, really fear this. So if you're wondering, where do you put your money? I believe that money is entirely useless. Money provides a medium of exchange. That's it. That's all I see it as. I wrote a book on money, The Money GPS, and I myself see money as useless. But we need to live. We need to buy food. We need to buy our houses, so on and so forth. Where do I think? Well, for me, I want basically my essentials. I want a nice home in a nice area. I want it to be paid for. I would like, a car that works that can get me from point A to point B. I want my bills paid for. That's all I really desire. A family well taken care of. I don't care about having piles and piles of digital money piled up inside a bank account somewhere. I just want everything taken care of and not have to really worry about is the value up or down. That's really not what I care about. I care about the preservation of my wealth. I can hold my money in my assets and not really think about it as going up or down, just knowing that I have my house, I have my car, and life is okay. That's sort of what I do. I do wealth preservation. So anyway, more information on that is in my book, of course. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe.